Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Master Monster back at it again. I'm gonna show you the director, the cards you can get, minus one, at least that I know of. If they added a new card, I haven't seen it played or haven't gotten it. So every time you level up, and in my case, I've gotten 23 cards, extra cards beyond the starting, deck thing they give you. You get a new card. In my case, I have two level 1 heals, two warm-ups. Let's just go over these, alright? Let's start off with the crowd favorites. Crowd favorites, do not bother with them unless you are streaming. I stream, but it doesn't seem like I can connect my stream with this so people can vote. But how crowd favorite usually works is you would usually throw this out there, and then your streamers would get a prompt because there's this whole thing, at least on PC, where people can say, "Oh, this one's my crowd favorite," so your chat could vote on who's the crowd favorite. They can also vote. You can choose with all this. You could, I think, you leave it up to the chat to do, or some of this. I know with the zone closeouts, they can choose where those go. Anything that is specific to a zone or region, I think chat can do. So that's one thing I should mention if you're a streamer or plan on streaming. This game is great, at least on PC. Um, so let's start off with heals. We have our level 1 heals, or 1 action point cost heals for 150, and our 2 action point cost for 300 HP. Never heal during a fight. If someone escapes from a fight, they're being pursued, give them some time before you heal them if you want to heal them. There's nothing wrong with running in a fight, so you don't need to say, well, no, I don't want to heal you because you're running. Um, you know, they there's run. I don't generally punish people from running from a fight, unless I think they could have won it, because then they're just stalling out the game. But however, if they're losing a fight and they want to ditch it because they're at low health and maybe they want to find some deer and like recuperate, or in my case, like get a heal from the director and like get some more farm. It's whatever. What it is, it's fine. You can give it to anyone, anytime. You can save it for when someone can't build a fire, but you don't have a warm up. You'll start the game with one warm up and like two give wood. So I'd use the give wood like a warm up, because if someone's about to freeze and they ran out of wood, it's best time to give it to someone. But you could also, give it to someone with a mic at the beginning and just say, "Hey, you're cool." Um, no one's gonna get pissed off about giving wood to people. That is, unless you give wood, like 3 stacks of wood to the same person. People might get a little tilted about that. You should try to avoid giving one person too many beneficial things. Um, I had a director one match who used all his warm ups, all his give woods, gave the electronics all to one person on the fucking game. And I was extremely pissed off because as a director myself, I'm level 23. I'm probably one of the higher rated directors in this game, although I don't know for sure. But a lot of people are just getting into it like me. I don't think they've played nearly as much as me. A lot of people don't get into the director too much. I do. Um, it's like you do not want to like tilt the game in one person's favor or another too far. You just want to do slight nudges and influences, and so using all your give blood and warmth and like basically trying to give it all the electronics, giving it all to one person, it's not fair. Now if that person's like a solo in a like final fight of a duo match and it's 2v1, maybe give them an extra electronic, maybe give them a bit of wood. Um, if they're like under farmed and like warm them up mid combat. There's nothing wrong with warm up mid combat unless someone is trying to freeze that person to death, and then absolutely do not try to warm them up mid combat because someone trying to freeze someone to death, it's not the easiest to do, and you're just cucking over another player who's trying to do something. So pay attention to what other players are doing, not just the person with the about nearly freezing bar. Um, Electronics are simple. You just activate electronic grid in a non forbidden zone. And there's electronic will spawn there as soon as you press it. 2 action points. We've already been over the 2 heals. The closed zones are your ability to progress the game or push players into each other, or just one of the few things you can use. Um, Noobs will get caught in this. I would I won't recommend you always not do this, but I highly recommend you not close off a zone where people are having an intense fight. It's kind of a jerk move because generally there's a few things that will happen with this. They'll either fight each other to the death, and the fight will probably take too long, and then they'll freeze in the zone anyways, unless you help the winner out by like using a warm up on them. But even then, you just use the warm up on a player that you made, stay in a zone because he was fighting. So it's kind of your fault and just a waste of ability power that could be spent on, anything else like a heal or just a manhunt. Um, so try not to close zones out on people that are fighting unless it's like a ton of people in one area that aren't fighting or just like nothing's, maybe the fights went on for a while. The fights, if you've been like watching this fight and like they've been pecking each other but nothing's really been happening, go ahead and close it if you want. Give them a new area to fight on. It might keep the game not unstale. The fight, give them new terrain, create interesting dynamics. Just be careful how you use them. Um, and I wouldn't try to kill people with these because it is very possible to have the middle open and the left and right zone of an edge zone already closed off, and then if that zone goes on a natural closeout, and then you close out the middle zone and you make them trek 2 zones worth of, especially if they're in the middle of the back zone. Um, it's kind of a dick move to do that. Um, at the same time, if you just so happen to want to, you know, do that, you can. It's just not really the best. Legendary is pretty self-explanatory. For the cost of 1 extra action point, you can spawn electronics all across the map. I think this is really useful for solos, because in duos you'll have like 3 electronics spawn, and that's pretty fair, because usually like 3 teams will get 8 electronic, whereas the solos only like 2 people get electronics within the first few minutes. Um, so Electromania is really nice for that, just getting people their electronics. It's a really nice ability, and generally people will love you for it. Um, it's just like everyone gets electronics. There's nothing discriminatory about that. One thing I should mention with the electronics, if you want to lure people into each other, it's also great to drop electronic on an area where 2 people might want to go for it. Speed ups are really nice for running people out of those closed zones as well. I also like to use them against players who are chasing other players, and not like I'm 10 meters away from you chasing. I mean like the other player's on a glider and that player's running after them. I'll pop a speed up on them to kind of chase down the kill. If someone's running into combat, like see at the other end of the middle circle or something, or they're tracking someone, I'll speed someone up like that too. Um, but I wouldn't use this in combat, as the ability to dip in and out of combat super fast and just super speed in general in combat is a little bit unfair. If they want super speed in combat, they can just chug a speed drink, and then that's fine. It also doesn't last for nearly a long speed drink. I think it's 15 seconds. The additional 5 seconds provided by speed up is actually pretty strong. Telepathy, it's not something all directors would know exactly how to use. Telepathy is really nice if you want like a second megaphone and you want to just be that director that notices in lobby everyone's got a mic, or a lot of people have mics, and you just want to say, hey, telepathy, you can talk shit to people, everyone can talk shit to other players. It's really good for, I think it's really good for solo matches, where people were talking shit in lobby and stuff, and that sort of thing. It also allows every player in the match to see the other player's health bar and what players are alive from what color team. Something the director can already do naturally. You wouldn't know this as a director unless me personally have had someone tell me that. Um, you can also use it to troll people. If they're like talking to their buddy and they're saying, "Oh, let's sneak," you think they're gonna start talking about an engagement plan. You can also use telepathy to just reveal their plan to everyone. But I feel like this should be a two cost because you start the game with two action points, and it'd be nice to use telepathy in the very beginning of the game so players can like wish good luck in the beginning. Even though you could do that in lobby, maybe the last guy that joined the last second only had 15 seconds. Maybe players want some more time to talk with each other, talk more game smack. Maybe actually, people do have pleasant conversations on this. It's not all smack talk. This is, believe it or not, this game isn't really that toxic. You get a few individuals that are a little salty that you killed them with a certain thing, but other than that, like it's not like super toxic. I don't hear anyone really screaming over mics or anything. And that just all comes down to the directors. It's your job to facilitate a nurturing environment. You want people to have fun. That's your goal. Make this as fun for them as possible and as fun as you as possible as a viewer, and as if you're streaming your viewers as well. Um, that being said, you shouldn't be looking to harass any players. If you have a mic, we'll get into the more finer details. But just like if you use the floating camera, if you like hit right bumper and move your analog stick and like float, do not get down into a combat area. You'll cover. People can go inside you, and it's just a nightmare when people go inside of you and the other person outside of you is trying to shoot them with arrows. I had a director do this to me. Do not do it. Also try to avoid flying camera as much as possible. Um, because you'll give away people's position. You're a huge, giant monitor camera, and when someone sees that pop up, and you're like flying near a window of a house, and someone doesn't know where the enemy is, they'll be like, "Well, I'm pretty sure there's someone there." I mean, you could use it to misdirect people, but like I'm said, like you shouldn't be trying to influence a player's decision because you're floating elbow cams looking inside a house, whether there's someone there or not. You also shouldn't be saying, "Hey, watch out for all the traps there." That player worked farmed up and placed all those traps preemptively. You shouldn't be cucking them over by telling them traps or giving out their location. People ask me all the time, "Oh, where's this dude? Where's this dude?" Um, and I won't say anything to them. I'll be like, "Well, find a radar dish. You'll find out." Like maybe tell them that there's a radar where they can find a radar dish, or direct them general direction of a radar dish, but try not to tell people where everyone's at. The only time I tell people where someone's at is when I want people to literally fight each other, and there's down to two guys. I'll be like, "Okay, everyone's except one dude's in the center. Come on, one dude, I'll say to him privately, get in the center. Let's finish this up." I try to like make matches last fairly short. I don't like dragging them out. Um, so yeah. Back to the cards. The nuke is literally what is it? It's a 45 second or 35 second? 40 second. 40-second timer. So it's shorter than the thing, the zone closeout, and it doesn't permanently close out a zone. Um, it just releases a fairly slow moving death ray. I mean, there's no way you're outrunning it like from the center if you start from the center when it drops. Um, I've gotten many kills with this. I don't really like to use it too often because I don't like people feeling like I've killed them, but it's a great way to flush people out of a zone. Um, and not close off the zone. That should be your primary focus in using it. Also, if you want to be the director that tries to kill people, I've seen people drop it on a whole entire rest of the surviving teams where they're fighting, and the director dropped it, got 2 kills with it. I mean, director's gonna do what he's gonna do. The nuke's alright. I mean, I think in the last game I played, director tried zoning me out with a nuke. And I mean, he did what he wanted to do, got me out of the zone. Gravity Storm is really just like a fun thing. There's a few. Needs to be more of these like fun cards that just kind of they don't really do anything like to harm or hurt or help someone. They just kind of change the rules up, um, which I find is interesting. So I think that's cool. Manhunt is by far the most aggressive thing you can do to someone besides nuking one person that's in the middle of a map. Um, When I say aggressive, I mean like this is like the director saying, "Hey, prepare to take on a lot of shit." Hopefully, I use this to punish duo teammates who attack their teammates purposely to get a material. That's what I do for duos. And solos, I use it on a lone person, just kind of silently farming in the back because they're farming so much. Might as well. They're usually ready to take on a fight. Um, a lot of times, the people I manhunt will go on to win the game, and that's because when the manhunt expires, the person you give the manhunt to will get good loot. I'm talking like axe upgrades, cloak upgrades, boot upgrades. It's it's something you gotta keep in mind. Um, Always try to press Y to make a microphone announcement at the beginning, and then like when you do something like a manhunt, or when it comes down to the final circle, try to use their microphone successfully. You should have a microphone when you play director. However, it's not necessarily bad that you don't. It just kind of robs the players of a niche of the experience of having a director, and that's a director right bumpering over you and just talking to you, asking out your day, asking you questions, taunting players in mass, not particularly one person. You should have a decent mic. If your mic is at all ear rapey, um, use it sparingly, I guess. And the last ability I have is Blood Moon, which is everyone tracks everyone, everyone sees everyone on the map, like see them as red outlines. I think this even reveals traps. I don't think it reveals traps, but I don't. I'm not sure exactly all it does, but everyone can see everyone on the map. I use this in particular when people have lost. I'll use this even in 1v1 situations. I'll pop it so the last two players know where they are and they can get to the fighting. It's not bad for that. It's also not bad if you just pop when there's a big fight going on and you want other people to get on it. Just use it how you see fit. There's nothing good or bad about using this. No one's gonna complain that you use the Blood Moon, unless you use the Blood Moon and shout out like, "Hey, everyone, kill the guy in X quadrant. He's got like 1 HP." I mean, like, that's, obviously not good. I mean, you encourage players to kill other people as long as it's not like, to give that person an unfair advantage or to intentionally kill someone. I've encouraged people to kill people that are low health, but that's because, they're running from a fight. It's like, you want to get the game go smoothly, so that's one thing you can do. The unlisted ability and any others I don't know of, but the current one that I know I don't have is Expose, which is like a mini Blood Moon in the fact that it will the person you target, the closest person to him, will be able to see him and he'll be able to see him. Also, not a bad ability um, to use. It's a mini Blood Moon. When you use it, it'd be like expose, and it'll make this dramatic sound effect. So yeah, use your abilities wisely. Try not to waste all your energy on a nuke when zones are closing out and players are gonna need warm-ups. You don't want to like not use warm-ups on people that are fleeing the zone. At the same time, try to make sure they're not AFK. I've used it on AFKs before. Um, I've actually put manhunts in AFKs too. That's another fun thing to do. Is I've noticed I warmed up and it manhunted a AFK and shouted over the mic, "Hey, there's a AFK. I decided to manhunt him. Come get him." And it was literally a race to the body. Uh, Whereas one player got it. I talked to another player that I thought was heading for the manhunt, and I was like, "Oh, too bad, too slow." And he was like, "I didn't even want it anyways." And I'm like, okay. You should always want manhunts. You should always want to be the person that puts the final blow on a manhunt, um, because of the insane loot you will get. I mean, if it's really risky, but if you're solo and he's in a two group, but still, if you can get the kill on the manhunt and like you have an escape plan, like a teleport, yeah, you're golden. Especially if you can loot the body. Anyways, that's the cards. That's what they do. I've given my peace of mind about how to go about playing the. Oh god, the hiccups. I've given my peace of mind about how you should play the director, and let's actually get in a match and play director.